Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom does a lot in its 2 hours on screen. Volcano disasters, mass dinosaur kidnappings, underground auctions. For a while it's a ghost story, but the ghost is a dinosaur. It stands to reason then that it might skip over a few things as it rushes to the next mad set piece. So here are the biggest questions we want answered after watching the movie. The Masrani Corporation's mistakes were the catalyst for everything we see in this film, but the new owner of InGen is nowhere to be seen itself. The one reference we do get is a news report that mentions that the company paid out $800 million to those affected by the events of the first film. Before Jurassic World's events, Masrani Corp had made $812 million in profit, so that payout would be a pretty big hit. The Masrani Global tie-in website now displays a letter to investors, saying it's suffering the worst financial crisis the company has ever seen and is holding an emergency board meeting. That means we can probably surmise that Masrani Corp is dead or dying by the events of the new movie. But that doesn't explain why actor Michael Papajohn, amazing name, is listed as playing an InGen contractor in Fallen Kingdom. Has InGen been bought up by Lockwood? It's not quite clear. Early on in the film, we're specifically shown news coverage of the Isla Nublar volcano. It seems odd that no one, news crews, scientists, activists, is still watching the island by the time Ted Levine's Ken Wheatley unloads his huge so-called rescue team. Not only is a newly active volcano something of interest for many people, but this volcano is also an extinction-level event for an entire species. Trenchant satire of human callousness in the 24-hour news era, or convenient omission? Probably the latter. We're told that the unscrupulous types who buy dinosaurs will use them to usher in a new age of human history, and then the world's last ankylosaur is sold for the price of 100 seconds of Super Bowl advertising? It just seems strangely low. When it comes to the Indoraptor, a species specifically bred to change the face of modern warfare, even $43 million seems like a bargain for these people. That's the going rate for a middling Premier League football player, and I haven't seen Mosasaurus tear through a dozen security guards lately. We're told a lot about just how scary the Indoraptor is, but very little about why. Besides its obedience to laser beams and bulletproof skin, there's not a great deal shown as to what all that precision engineering offers the Indoraptor above your bog-standard part frog Blue. In fact, at times it seems less capable than Blue. We're specifically told that a raptor can smell you from a mile away, so why does the Indoraptor have trouble finding Owen, Claire and Maisie when they're literally 6 feet beneath its nose? It seems odd that a creature designed to enhance what raptors already have would have one of its key hunting features left out. We know for sure that the new raptor species is created from the Indominus Rex bone recovered in the film's opening sequence, which is when the Mosasaurus escapes into the wild. But how long before the main events of Fallen Kingdom was that? In the original Jurassic Park, Muldoon says that raptors are lethal at 8 months.
And I do mean lethal.
We can't jump to any conclusions about what a full-size Indoraptor might look like, but we definitely know it's lethal, and has also had training with that laser audio kill combo. On top of actually engineering a brand new species, that's a lot of waiting, during which no one has heard or seen from the Mosasaurus. Even when Claire reaches the island, no one remarks on the fact that its tracker seems to have disappeared. After what we've seen that girl do, it feels irresponsible. Maisie, who we find out is a clone of Lockwood's daughter, looks around 10 years old, but then Mills tells Lockwood that John Hammond was right. It was an unholy thing you did. Does that imply Hammond met Maisie, or at least saw the clone being created in the first place? Well, Fallen Kingdom takes place in 2018, and we know that John Hammond died in 1997, which would make Maisie a lot older than she looks. Either human clones age slower than boring old normal humans, Lockwood has created human clones before Maisie, or Hammond was actually referring to the idea of human cloning as a whole after Lockwood revealed his plans for their shared research. The latter seems likeliest, but the first two are a lot more interesting going forward in the series. Our best guess at how many dinosaurs made it to Lockwood's estate is based on one shot that shows 27 different camera feeds, seemingly one for each dino cage. We know that it's not technically one creature per cage, but it can't be much bigger a number than that. Which begs the question, why does the end of the film showing them all in the wild seem so ominous? That's not a huge number of dinosaurs, and an even smaller number of those will be truly aggressive ones. Plus Stiggy, who just sort of seems painfully playful. We also know for sure that all those dinosaurs still have trackers that work in perpetuity, so it just doesn't seem like a huge threat. Obviously the few dinosaurs that made it into the black market present a bigger problem, but we only counted 8 of those. So basically, our message is this: chill out, Goldblum. When we see the scientists packing up to leave Henry Wu's lab, we spot several dinosaur eggs on show. Does that mean there are multiple Indoraptors in the process of being hatched? When Wu mentions the second-generation Indoraptor that would use Blue as a mother, it definitely only sounds like a single new prototype. Why have so much flammable, poisonous hydrogen cyanide just begging to be leaked? Well, we think we can clear that one up at least. In the real world, that chemical is proposed to be part of the origin of life in the first place, among other benefits in animal bodies. Essentially, there's a few reasons why this MacGuffin exists. So, well done, Wu, you finally did something right. Until it all went, wrong. Yes, you could point this criticism at almost every single character in this series' history, but it wouldn't do to ignore Fallen Kingdom's most unprofessional workers. For a start, why does Claire even bother taking Franklin to Isla Nublar? He clearly doesn't want to go, and is at best unfamiliar with the workings of the park. There must still be systems analysts who work there that would be better suited to this task. Then there's Ken Wheatley, who insists that Blue has to be kept alive, then does absolutely nothing to help with that, even though it would cost him greatly to have her die. And what was Mills's endgame here? Was he always planning to kill Lockwood? Or did he really think he could smuggle dozens of dinosaurs into an auction in another man's house without ever being noticed? Come on, mate. At the very least, one person is up to their allotted task. Zia does an amazing job as a paleo doctor with Blue, despite not having even seen a dinosaur until a few hours previously. Props to her.
High fives, everybody!
I know that might feel like a bit of a teardown, but we really like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and you can check out exactly why in our video review. Or, if like us you thought there wasn't enough Jeff Goldblum in the new movie, you can check out him doing a one-man show playing every single part from the first movie. It's insane.